Dude, what's going on now? Trump is making XRP the bridge currency. Oh wait, hold on. That's where people always write in the comments that XRP has nothing to do with the market cap. BlackRock wants to invest 9 trillion in XRP. Now you're definitely curious. How do we get back to this amazing prediction? 6 per XRP. The XRP army is probably shaking their heads right now and saying, dude, now he's only talking about $6. Let's take a look at that together. And if you were paying attention in yesterday's video, hey, we forgot the raffle for our advent calendar. So what are we doing here? On one hand, we're having a raffle today, and on the other hand, there are 2 doors to win for the next video in this one. Hey, so let's see who the lucky one will be. Today we're opening 2 packages. On our channel, you'll find exciting new projects, news about the current market situation, and fact-based analysis of scams. If you're interested in these topics, feel free to subscribe for free. And if you want to protect yourself as much as possible, we've put together a free 8-point checklist for you. To find out how to get it, check the description. Let's take a look at CoinMarketCap. And yeah, friends, it's pretty crazy. We now have XRP, which has left Solana behind, then directly surpassed USDT and is now in 3rd place. So the victory march is quite impressive, considering that for years the Ripple army has been very strong and the community is a powerful driver. However, it was only fueled by hope. So what's the deal? Why has the price actually gone up so much? So yeah, there are a few logical explanations, but all in all, the mix in the overall package with a bit of FOMO, definitely realistic because the value is pretty wild. So, some people who maybe haven't been active in the crypto space for a while and are just now coming back might be rubbing their eyes 3 times and saying, dude, what's going on now? Let's start with the first factor, without going too deep into it because we've already talked about that. Sure, this isn't the most recent article from the end of November. Brad Garlinghouse explained, yeah, here and the US crypto boom and under Trump and all that. By the way, that's a little interesting factor right there. Maybe some of you remember one of the Ripple co-founders supported Harris. That was one of the few cryptocurrencies where there was support from Harris. And now people are happy that Trump won. Okay, got it. So it's a bit controversial, but whatever. However, it's still not clear here, and I want to point this out again. Sure, the Ripple Moon boys are running around saying, yeah, Trump is making XRP the bridge currency. Yeah, is that really the case? So yeah, it says in there that a Ripple CEO has made some predictions. We can all make a lot of predictions, so please wait a moment. But of course, one can say that foundations are already very well laid. So regarding the legal dispute with the SEC, of course, yeah, our friend Gary is finally leaving in January, but unfortunately he gave Solana a bit of a kick again. If you're interested in what went down, feel free to click here. You can definitely say that, yes, something could go in that direction. But I still say, and feel free to correct me on this, write in the comments. Yeah, governments, states, whatever, depending on a cryptocurrency, but that's just my opinion. What is definitely a fact, though, is that WisdomTree has now also submitted an application for an XRP ETF, and that's something to keep an eye on, especially with this graphic. It was found that the XRP whale activity is indeed extremely high. So we're talking about an all-time high, or it might still be. Now, you can say that if whales are active, and it can definitely happen to some extent that a correction comes. Because when a whale cashes out, it's definitely something different than when a retail investor just hits the button and says, okay, I'm going to realize my holdings now. So maybe keep that in mind. Basically, you can always say that corrections in 2021 aren't a big deal. That's the normal timeline, if you will. And so a correction is just as much a part of the rise, at least if it's supposed to be healthy growth. And I want to say a few words about that too, because there are definitely a lot of fake news out there. I'll get to that in a bit. Here, it's definitely the case that those were false information. Apparently something was leaked, and the Ripple Stablecoin is supposed to be released on the 3rd or 4th of December. Yeah, then it should come out. December. Yeah, then it should come out. So even if you check here again, Google is still talking about the 4th. As of now, we know that no, that's not the case. And there was also this news about it. which is still completely unclear. You can read the article in detail. It says exactly the appropriate regulatory framework still needs to be put in place. So no, before everyone starts thinking about it again, I'm not saying it's not coming. It will come, but most likely not as soon as we expected. And before we get to the realistic forecast that we want and can discuss, let's address the unfortunately large amount of fake news that's out there. Well, I don't want to stand in the shadows here with Altcoin Daily. It's probably a bit satirical here, clearly exaggerated. The thing is supposed to be bought with an XRP. Now, there are a lot of people out there who say, wait a minute, if XRP has already overtaken Solana and Tether, then, well, theoretically, we could also overtake Bitcoin in terms of market cap. XRP has nothing to do with market cap, okay? I prefer using market cap for comparisons. At 250 value and 145 billion market cap, a house costs 2.5 million, about 1 million XRP, or 145 quadrillion thousand USD. So, if you put these kinds of forecasts in here, we have found a nice explanation for it, where you say, okay, if the value is currently at 250 and a market cap of 145 billion, okay? Then we assume that the house costs around $2.5 million, then that would be about 1 million XE, or the other way around 145 quadruple million USD. Everyone can evaluate for themselves whether that's realistic and if it will actually happen. But I definitely believe there's still potential for growth in the subscriber count because I've noticed that most of the people watching these videos haven't subscribed yet. If you count yourself among them, feel free to subscribe, also activate the bell and leave a like. A short comment around 10 words is something the algorithm really likes, and then this video can get pushed accordingly. And here too, you can express your opinion freely, so please be friendly. Otherwise, it will be deleted. But let's discuss it if you have a different view. But this has taken on a whole different dimension because maybe you heard South Korea has declared martial law. And the president only did that because he's a Bitcoin fan and that could harm XRP. What? All right. And the fake news that almost aligns with that. Hey, BlackRock, of course you've heard. BlackRock wants to invest $9 trillion in XRP. And what's that all about? Absolute bullshit. Then this week, there were also some pretty harsh words from this guy who clearly stated that Ripple is completely lying about it. There's nothing decentralized about that. It's all centralized. He explains it with the consensus mechanism. I'm not going to dive too deep into that. Feel free to look it up. On the other hand, folks, let's build our dream factory a bit differently. You shouldn't forget that Ripple is working with the authorities, which isn't a bad thing for crypto to grow. However, it clearly supports CBDCs. Ladies and gentlemen, what are CBDCs? That's pure control. Yeah, and then there's, of course, the XRP army out there. I've also talked to a few people who tell me that CBDCs are something we can't avoid anyway. I see it differently. I'm definitely not someone who completely hates everything that governments, politics, and so on do. Everything's fine. However, I'm definitely against CBDCs because there's no logical explanation for why the world needs CBDCs, why governments need them. Absolutely, because then you can make the account completely transparent. For anyone who thinks it's already transparent, you still have bank secrecy, and even the central banks can't touch that. But if you have your account at the central bank, well, they basically sit there and then you can distribute credit points like, for example, in China, etc. So as I said, I don't want to dive too deep into the topic, but please be aware of that. Many people say, okay, in all this profit euphoria, let's just forget what they're actually doing. But theoretically, we're currently supporting a company that stands against everything crypto represents. So please don't forget that. And now let's get to the realistic price prediction. So you see here the post from a former Goldman Sachs manager, Ulpal. Some of you might be familiar with him. He definitely explained the whole thing saying, okay, with the chart formation, if we reflect that back into the past, we would go up by a certain percentage, okay? Then we would be at a price of $150, which is pretty wild. But if you pull that back a bit and say, okay, the market cap is obviously larger, you also have to remember that the market cap is still diluted because not all tokens are on the market yet, just as a side note. However, if you put this into perspective, many are already discussing the $10 mark, which wouldn't be entirely out of the question theoretically, just based on this chart formation. So we don't want to stick our necks out too far. We've received a bit of criticism lately about how we could throw out such picture-perfect numbers. That's why we're still at $6 today, which is still a bit less than a threefold increase. But for some, it's definitely very lucrative. And now I have a quick different topic, so for everyone who's interested in the giveaway drawing and what you can win, just skip ahead in my video a bit. Some of you might have already noticed that we're working with Pionex, and I'm also testing this bot myself, etc. I just want to show something special here, and I have it running on Ethereum. There was a bit of a discussion in my Telegram group about how this works because this bot, mind you, has stopped at almost 43% profit, and that was in a relatively short time. You see, the price has gone beyond what the bot can handle. How can we reactivate it or keep it running? Because I definitely want to do that. So as I said, the value can definitely be more than impressive. You can see up here that the current price is higher than the upper limit. Of course, we have exactly that case here, which is why it just stopped. So what can you do here now? You go here to More, and then click on Edit Price Range. And that's exactly what you need to adjust. Now, I have to say, okay, I personally find that a bit suboptimal because you can adjust the grids here. You don't see the chart alongside it. So that's a little improvement that could be made. I'm always very neutral about these things. Now let's take a look beforehand. And we call it up and see where there was relatively a lot of support. Let's say roughly in this area. Yeah, that's quite realistic. So let's just say around 3K. You can always adjust that again, but just so you have a rough guideline, even if it falls down, it just stops, which means it will still keep running. So you won't get liquidated or anything like that. If it comes back into that range, everything's fine. If we take the price range now, we say, okay, we had from 2,000 to 3,960. Well, we are definitely above that. Now let's say we're going to go to 2.6, for example, and let's go to 4. So that's a bit low now. So let's set it to 4. 7, for example. That shouldn't happen too quickly, so we'll just have to wait and see. Then let's go a bit higher, say 2.8 as an example, or let's do 0.9. That should still be realistic. And then let's just move on to the next step and say, okay, reinvest. Of course we're going to reinvest, which means we're going to pack our profit back in as well and click on apply. I would do it that way too, so let's confirm this again. Bam, it's running again. First it's a minus, but that's good because then it can buy. So as I said, that's how you can set up this bot. If you say now I invested something like $500 or something like that, you have to take a look. $500 are in there. Try it with the $100 you get. You have 5 days left. Click participate, complete KYC, receive $100. Follow on Telegram. You have just under 5 days left. You click on participate now and go through KYC 2 and you'll receive $100 from Pionex within 48 hours. So that means, let's close this up again. You can also follow on Telegram. You just go through the steps and then you'll get the $100. If there are any profits, they belong to you. And if there are losses, Pionex covers them. It's a cool thing, isn't it? And so we come directly to the drawing of the current giveaway. Here you can see some comments coming in, also some calls. And now we're going to copy this, paste it in, start the raffle drum, and yes, congratulations at this point. Yes, the correction was important and right, I completely agree. Now I'm still on Team Bull personally, so the bull run is definitely not over yet, so let's see what else is coming our way. So, now let's get straight to the drawing. I've already prepared everything here because today we have 2 envelopes that we're going to open. And so the next winner. So I can only give you the tip. I would definitely leave a comment because Yuzen, there's already a lot of wood there, so you can secure quite a bit. So let's unpack this. So it's really stuck that hard. This isn't just a story. So then we have here, we have 200, we have 300, we have people, folks, 340,000 euros. So that means 340 BitMEX tokens that you can win. How can you win? On one hand, check out the description below. If you're looking for a cool exchange to trade on, you can grab a $25 voucher, and at the same time, you need an account to win the BitMEX tokens. That means just message me on Telegram and then you've won. I'll tell you how you can redeem the prize, or rather, how you can get it. And for everyone else out there who also wants to participate in the giveaway, definitely set up an account because everyone can secure the $25. Otherwise, if the discussion is to continue, feel free to join our Telegram group. It's just a bit easier to exchange ideas there. See you in the next video. Until then, all the best.